Eyes ended up doing fine. He actually lives in the harbor outside the stronghold and near you up north. It's kind of like a floating ocean base. Some people live on it with him that prefer to live on the ocean, either fish off it from it or help him keep it maintained properly. They all use the new boats he brought to fish, and it works very well. The whole new fishing community has sprung up. Because of it, and he have become the local hero. His crew and captain would be very proud. There's a crew of riflemen on board with them as the eyes, and nobody even gets close that it doesn't pass near recognition checks. Epilogue. Before falling asleep, I noticed a new pair of small boxes on my nightstand that weren't there before. A sticky note attached to the box says, "Your updated share of the loot." I picked up the first one and looked. It was a 1X scope that had special solar panels on it to let light in and kept the battery running basically forever. The model of optic in the box was a rare collaboration between two companies. Instead of lines and dots, the standard reticle had been modified to a horseshoe shape with a chevron and tick marks for each 100 meters. The second box was the matching 3x magnifier with a side flip mount. I'd finally be able to make range shots like the rest of the guys, then we could switch back to my close quarters scope to kick some serious butt. This is what I'd always wanted, since I couldn't use normal scopes at all. I went to bed very happy with my great kitty. I drifted off to sleep finally. I had been having a hard time sleeping again. It used to be that I was able to immediately fall asleep, but now it was taking hours. Every night it was the same dream, multiple times per night. Massive civil unrest. People running around dressed up as nuns, shooting it out with cops and lighting them on fire with Molotov cocktails. Burning down entire buildings with people in them in the name of peace. Others dressed up as presidents and attacking anyone who even appeared to have a remotely decent job. I tried to wake up and try to live some semblance of a normal life, but it was impossible. I'd been unemployed for so long it was impossible to find work. They said unemployment was lower than it had ever been, but even with one of the best degrees you could get in over 10 years' experience, it was impossible to find work. Every interview they would say, "Why won't anyone hire you?" But they would never hire me. I was losing everything, but all was not lost. Then I would go to bed and it would be exactly the same dream. The exact same dream. Multiple times per night, and there was nothing I could do about it, yet I knew I would be fine. I know that with my cat huddled up next to me, comforting me, there was no way I could keep going through this torment. Even though I knew the day was coming, those dreams were going to become reality, and there was nothing I could do about the calm before the storm. I couldn't even sleep, and everyone else just kept living their useful, idiotic lives, trying to bury their heads and ignore the inevitable. It was coming, and there were things they could do, yet they chose to do nothing. Pure evil was coming to reap its reward. I tried to get back to sleep from the nightmare, and all I could do was hold my cat, and then cried myself to sleep. That is the end of book number 4. I am going to now read an excerpt from book number 5, The Preheated Mountain. Alright, this is an excerpt from book 5, The Preheated Mountain, book number 5. Chapter 1, Waking Up. Home subdivision, 6 weeks after the collapse. Late winter, early spring. I slept for a few hours, well enough, then woke up before my alarm. I checked my phone and I still had 2 hours left until I needed to get up. Some mornings I used to have to sleep for an extra 2 to 3 hours before I could get up. Would have to keep sleeping until I didn't feel like electricity was coursing through me. Other days I could only sleep about 4 hours total and was ready to go. It seemed like this morning would be the latter. I tried to sleep and was able to sleep for about a half hour before waking up and thinking I was late again. This happened several times, and in between one of the attempts at sleep I had a dream. The dream was a variation of a dream I had hundreds of times before. I was trying to get to the office to visit everyone. The office had long since let me go and never hired me back, leaving me to be unemployed since that was where most of my professional network was. The dream went into so much more detail, though. Horrific detail. We went to get on the freeway to go to my prior employer, and the freeway was jammed. 4 lanes in each direction, completely jammed. We were able to take a side lane where the traffic started moving easier. Only get up to the barrier to realize people jammed on the other side wasn't through traffic. The congestion consisted of people being turned around ahead, with the consistent flow of traffic originated from the barrier. We pulled up to the barrier, and it extended across incoming and outgoing traffic lanes. The path being physically blocked made no sense, though. There was no issue down the road. Law enforcement simply wasn't letting anyone through to the city, and they wouldn't say why. We got turned around, and we were able to get me to the building to see my prior coworkers. When I got to work, my prior supervisor, the one that had cost me my job, promptly took my favorite hat with a sneer on his face. Even though him and I had a lot of friction at first, eventually we both learned how to get along. It had really upset me that he cost me my job in the end after a year and a half working with him. His judgment error cost him his career advancement, though, as well, and he never got another direct report after that. So he takes my hat with a mocking look and scampers off. I decided that I'll get my hat back later and go use the restroom. That's when I realize I don't have shoes on or socks. I go to the bathroom and realize every stall and urinal has been leaking water, and there's so much urine on the floor I can't use the bathroom without stepping in it in my bare feet. I keep going from stall to stall, checking the urinals, only to find one where I can step without getting my feet and pant legs soaked in urine and water. I finally find one, but that's when something starts dripping on me from the ceiling. The floor above me had a bathroom also and was leaking black slime that was getting all over me. It had apparently flooded and was now leaking down. No matter where I moved, the black slime continued to drip down from the ceiling and floor above. I went to the sink to try to wash it off and looked down and realized I had socks and shoes on again. That's good, I thought, accepting the return of my footwear as if this was something sort of normal. I started washing the slime off me in the sink. Other people had been coming in and out of the bathroom and didn't seem to notice these issues at all. I woke up again for no reason in particular and thought I had once again slept in. I had 3 minutes left until my alarm was going to go off, so I pressed the buttons on the menu that told the phone application to shut the alarm off. This alerted my panther kitty, who tromped over to me loudly meowing good morning, and then started licking my face. I guess she liked the taste of my tears, the result of what got me to sleep the night before. I held my phone at an angle that wouldn't interfere with her grooming routine. If I interrupted the sleek black kitty, she would have to start all over. If I tried to stop her altogether, it'd make her extremely fussy, and she would take off and mess up my stuff. She was my therapy kitty, and we were going to be able to get through this. My normal phone routine was messed up since the area had gone to hell. Normally I would check my multiple news feeds, but that was all out the window now. I had removed the apps from my app launch screen, but not uninstalled them. It had been able to scoop up some final news clips off an open Wi-Fi before the internet got shut off, which I hadn't expected. I like to review the final news stories sometimes, but not right now. I went to check my calendar application to confirm my schedule for the day. My calendar worked offline airplane mode and took hardly no battery life, so it worked really well for me. I chuckled at it being called airplane mode when it should have been called SHTF mode. Oh well, maybe if there's ever another update. It looked like I was scheduled for dawn patrol at my subdivision. The cat finished her morning routine of licking my face and kneading some of my muscles, and then hopped down to check her food and water. I crawled out of bed and began to get ready. It had been about 6 weeks since the collapse officially happened. There had been some initial resistance in the subdivision to having perimeter defense, but that went away when the de facto subdivision leader decided to go for a walk outside the secure zone. Security leadership tried to talk her out of it, but she refused. They offered to send security with her, and she refused. "Having all those guns just makes you a target," she said sardonically, as if being ultra condescending to us somehow willed her reality into existence. She insisted that nothing was wrong, and that she was going for a walk outside the perimeter, and there was nothing we could do about it. We had debated sending security with her anyway, shadowing her, but decided not to. It would have raised too many questions having security follow someone without consent, and we both needed and wanted everyone accounted for. Each one of us was extremely pivotal to the security of the subdivision. It was already a thin group, but there was 13 of us total, all with some variation of radios, some blisters, and some programmable, and even a few base stations, enough for everyone to talk on the common channels. 2 at each gate, and a few floating on internal patrols, 14-hour shifts, 2 rotating groups. It wasn't ideal, but it's all we had. Our security officer, confirmed everyone was accounted for. We had 7 on and 6 asleep. She left the gate, headed down the street, and never came back.